On a nice Mississippi Roads is fun for the whole family as we take in a Central Mississippi fair that's been going on every year for more than a century. We'll show you how one artist is using heat to craft her masterpieces, plus the interesting story of the talented blues musician Charlie Musselwhite. And finally, we take a look at a band keeping quality Southern rock and blues alive, the North Mississippi All-Stars.
Support for the arts segment of Mississippi Roads comes from the Mississippi Arts Commission, whose mission is to be a catalyst for the arts and creativity in Mississippi. Information available at www.arts.ms.gov.
Mississippi Roads is made possible in part by the generous support of viewers like you. Thank you.
Down Mississippi Road.
Today we're in Attala County in the city of Kosciusko, just off the Natchez Trace north of Jackson. And what brings us here is the Central Mississippi Fair. It's kind of hard to believe, but this fair has been going on for more than 100 years. And of course, just by its very nature, a fair that's been going on that long has to stretch to fill more than just a day or two. And this one encompasses an entire week. It starts off with a livestock show, and a photography and art show, and a home canning, vegetable and fruit show. But the rides start on Wednesday, weather permitting, and continue each night until Saturday. Now, while this fair has been going on for more than 100 years, fairs in general have been going on for a lot longer than that. The first recorded fair in history was in London, England, almost 1,000 years ago. And it featured royal ceremonies and cloth vendors. And things have changed at fairs over the centuries, too. For instance, the advent of electricity, without which the modern-day fair would be something entirely different than what it is. And the cloth vendors of merry old England have been replaced by something much more important. Food vendors. Give me a bloomin' onion.
Bloomin' onion?
Thank you. Yes, and a Diet Coke.
And a Diet Coke.
And the Central Mississippi Fair in Kosciusko certainly delivers the goods. All the fair favorites. Chicken on a stick, funnel cakes, corn dogs, nachos, you name it. There's a stand for it. And the fair also delivers the goods on rides, too. There's something for everyone. Thrill seekers have plenty of ways to get spun around, hung upside down, and twisted and turned so many ways, they're bound to like one of them. And little fairgoers have their picks of rides, too. So there's something for everyone. And like any good fair, there are games of skill and chance and prizes to be won. While we're talking about skill, we met up with a Jackson artist who's learned to tame heat and flame and come up with something quite creative. Self-taught artist Quincy Valentine uses a variety of media and creates things that are quite mesmerizing, and some people have described as Tim Burton-esque. In reality, there's a lot less fire and a lot more finesse to wood burning. The craft dates back to ancient cultures, including the Egyptians. Folk artist Quincy Valentine gravitated toward wood burning after starting out sketching and painting.
I'm not exactly sure how long I've known her because we had friends in common for a long time, but then we didn't get to be close friends until we were in a band together. When I first saw her work hanging in a show, it was one of the shows at Ink Spot, the old Ink Spot, but I was really impressed with her work.
I've known Chrissy for a long time, and she's asked me about doing an art show, and at first I didn't know she could, she painted or anything or had any interest in that. And so I told her to get her stuff together and buy the shop, and we'll put a show together for her. And when I saw her work, I really loved it. It was different, and she had a lot of potential, and it was cool that she, had no formal art training that I was aware of, and was, able to to do this, create her own style, a little underground. It's like Tim Burton meets Lisa Frank.
I did a lot of skeletons in the beginning and flowers, skeletons standing amongst gardens and pretty things. But wood burning, I started that probably about 7 years ago. I just saw it at the craft store and decided that'd probably be pretty cool if I could teach myself how to do that, so I did. Wood burning's a lot like drawing. You just have to learn how much pressure to put down at the right time. So it's a little different than painting, but I'd already been drawing a good bit, so it wasn't that difficult to do. I'm trying to teach my daughter to do it now. It takes time, I guess. I think music and art kind of go together. I think they're both on the same level.
Morning Bell Records is a record store, music venue, and recording studio. We opened in March of 2012. We've done a couple of different art shows. I believe the first large one we did was actually a show for Chrissy's work. I really like Chrissy's work a lot. I don't know if it's just the fact that it's burned into wood and it feels more permanent, and it also feels a little vintage. Me and my wife were working on a dresser that we'd had for a long time and stripping paint off of it and refinishing it. And that was right about the time that Chrissy had her art show in her store.
So we stripped the paint, my husband sanded it, and I finished it with the wood oil. And my husband had the idea to get a art piece done on it. He said, call up Chrissy and see if she can commission a piece. That's what we did. We decided on the hummingbird. I think it turned out great. We love it.
And what about those animals that are favorite subjects?
That all comes from my grandpa. Him and I were really close. I spent probably every waking minute with him when I was a child, and he had this huge collection of National Geographics, which I probably read 100 times, front to back. He had birds, and we had 18 rabbits at one time, dogs, cats, any kind of animal. Growing up, I was a huge tomboy. I was in the ditches, I'll pick up anything as long as it's not a roach. But I like being a girl. I like dressing up, I like clothes, and I like makeup. Yeah, I like bugs.
If I had to sum up Chrissy in 3 words, that's really hard. Well, to me, first of all, she's a friend. She's one of my best friends. She's also one of the girliest people I know, so I would say feminine and talented. She's definitely got raw talent in spades.
Now let me show you skill. Now, how do you play this?
You pick 3 ducks and guaranteed a prize every time.
Pick 3 ducks.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
I can do this. What did I win?
Okay, you got 3 large. You get anything in here.
All righty.
So,
If I had a hammer.
okay, there you go.
Each year, in addition to all the food and fun rides, the Central Mississippi Fair in Kosciusko brings in great live entertainment. And this year, there are attractions guaranteed to draw a crowd, like the Gator boys that are just about to put on a show.
I want to introduce you to a couple people in this pit right now. I got Andy over here. He's going to be your alligator wrestler today. All right. Woo. And I got this guy over here. What's his name? I can't remember his name. What? Jimmy. Okay. This Jimmy's going to be your narrator today. And my name is Richard. You got him? Okay. All right, guys. Now, the first turtles that we're going to show you are actually water turtles. You know those cute little green turtles you buy in the pet store? That's what these are, the red-eared sliders. And once they get this size, most people, they don't want to take care of them no more, so what do? They go down to a lake or canal, and they just release them. Now, this size alligator would have about 1,500 pounds of bite pressure per square inch in that mouth. There you go. Now, guys, if you get wet at all, don't worry. It's only Gatorade. It's not going to hurt you. Like I was telling you, the jaws are very sensitive. If Andy puts his hand in the alligator's mouth, he has to remember anything dripping, water, something goes in the mouth, even a fly touches the inside, it would trigger these jaws closed. You notice nothing touches, the jaws are not closed. But as soon as something touches, ooh, hey Andy, I missed that. Can you do that again? And that's how you actually trim your fingernails if you're stranded in the Everglades, okay?
While we're here in Kosciusko, we need to take a minute to recognize some of the town's more notable natives. For instance, television personality Oprah Winfrey was born in Kosciusko and spent a great deal of her childhood here. And civil rights figure James Meredith, who paved the way for minorities to enroll in universities, is also from Kosciusko. And musician Charlie Musselwhite. He is said to have inspired one of Hollywood's more notable roles, that of the character that Dan Aykroyd played in The Blues Brothers.
One more time.
Kosciusko-born and Memphis-bred bluesman Charlie Musselwhite has been playing the harmonica longer than he can remember.
Seemed like they were always around. It was like just a common toy. Everybody had a harmonica, it seemed like. You get one for your birthday or stocking stuffer at Christmas. And they just make up little kids' tunes on them when I was just a kid. And then later, I discovered the first Sunday Boys, John Lee Williamson. And that blues harmonica, it sounded so voice-like and so expressive, and I thought, well, I have a harmonica, maybe I can sound like that or something, make up my own blues. I had learned to play just because I just liked the music. I had no dream of being a musician at all. It never even occurred to me. To me, it's more than just music. It's not a fad. It's a way of describing something. Some people talk about the blues scale and the 1-4-5 chord change and all this, and that's a convenient way to express blues, but it can be just one chord, you know, and 3 or 4 notes. It's all in the feeling. If the feeling ain't there, I don't care how many notes you play or chords you know or how much theory you know or any of that stuff, that you can miss the whole point. I mean, I hear people all the time that say, yeah, I play blues, and you listen to it, and I'm thinking, well, I hear all those notes, but there's no feeling in anything. It's like somebody has a big vocabulary with nothing to say. I came to the idea that it seemed like every culture had its music of lament, you know, and then if you translated the lyrics, it's about the same stuff. Lost love, found love, bad times, good times, in trouble, in jail, out of jail. I mean, it's a human condition all around the world. And I noticed in my travels, when I'd meet people that played this local music, we could play together effortlessly, even if we couldn't speak each other's language, because it's coming right from the heart. So it's the music of the heart, and it works.
On the highway looked lonesome when the sun is sinking down.
As a teenager, Musselwhite left his southern roots to search for work in Chicago. Little did he know that the Windy City would be the starting point for his long and illustrious musical career.
I just went up to Chicago looking for a job in a factory. First job I got was this driver for an exterminator. I'd drive him all over town. And that was perfect because I learned the whole city right away. And in driving around, I'd see these signs that say, Elmore James, wow. Muddy Waters, wow. Howlin', wow. I discovered this whole blues scene was there in Chicago. I didn't know anything like that was happening in Chicago. So at night, I'd go back to these clubs and hang out. I'd be drinking and hanging out and socializing and listening to the music and just having a heck of a good time. But I wasn't going up saying, you know, hey, can I sit in? Or I was happy just to be there. And then I got to know this waitress, and she knew that I played, and she told Muddy, you ought to hear that boy Charlie. He plays pretty good harmonica. When they found out I played, well, you have to sit in. And a lot of people sat in all the time. It wasn't like sitting in was unusual. It's just unusual that there was a white teenage kid in there that was sitting in. That was very unusual. So from then on, anytime I saw Muddy, he'd always make me sit in. People heard me playing and started offering me jobs, and that kind of got my attention and got me focused on I thought, well, maybe this is my ticket out of the factory, you know? And here we are talking about it, so I guess it worked out. Still don't have a plan.
Not that he needs a plan. With 28 albums, 7 Grammy nominations, 27 Blues Music Awards, and no signs of slowing down anytime soon, it's clear that Charlie Musselwhite has done more than all right for himself. Well, like we said, the Central Mississippi Fair has been going on for about a century now. And it started off like a lot of other fairs as a place to showcase livestock and homemade goods. Then after that, they added things like the modern rides that we have now. But the fair stays true to its roots. Children and adults from across the area bring their prized livestock to be judged. The seasoned veterans know what the judges are looking for, but there's always a younger generation there to learn the ropes. And the competition is friendly and hospitable, with many of the contestants being neighbors or friends or family. And the fair, which started out only taking up a day or two, has now grown to encompass a week's worth of activities, starting with the livestock show and moving into arts shows, flower shows, and even preserves. Then the carnival rides open up on Wednesday, and that's when fairgoers by the thousands show up for a good time. Now, while these people are waiting in line for their favorite ride, in other parts of the state, people are lining up for entertainment of a musical nature. You can always count on the North Mississippi All-Stars to put on a good show.
For the uninitiated, my name's Luther, and I play music with my brother Cody, and our friend Lightning Malcolm is playing with us, and we live in North Mississippi. We're in a band called North Mississippi All-Stars.
With World Boogie is Coming, we definitely set out to go in the studio and just make a definitive piece.
We wanted to get back to the place where we could capture what we were doing live, But I'd realized that part of the responsibility of being a younger generations involved in the traditionals and roots music is that you've got to make it appealing to the younger generations. And I'm old-fashioned to a fault, so I was kind of indulging myself in the past in just like being really, really old-fashioned. And so I opened my mind. I was like, yeah, we need to make this. We need to combine our roots some more and get some more modern influences back in here. And for me, that means turn up Cody.
This was an opportunity for us to really make our masterpiece. We've spent all these years on tour and really sort of mastering the craft of I don't know. I feel like we really were able to identify our signature sound and
for pretty much the whole record is just like raw, but then he'll get in there and do such a nice job producing the tracks and adding to it, or like even building beats that we play along with. It was really fun to bring in, to do my thing like totally raw on top of a little modern approach that Cody brought to it. And I think our fans are gonna like it because it really is, it sounds like what we do live.
We were just talking about the hill country blues scene definitely experiencing a huge resurgence, largely responsible by John Spencer and that whole world. And it was amazing experiencing that, firsthand and being right there and seeing RL and them play. And then we would go down to Junior Kimbrough's juke joint. It was just right down the street from our place. And on Sunday night, there was nothing else to do, and that was just what we did for fun, So that was happening when we were doing Shake Hands with Shorty.
After the first record, man, it just changed our life, and we were touring the world internationally and playing these festivals, and all of a sudden I was influenced by all this rock and roll that we were surrounded by, because that was our life.
We certainly experienced more success than I expected right off the bat, sort of right out of the gate. Which was incredible. It was definitely the right record at the right time. And that led to touring extensively all through Europe and eventually the world.
We went from being country boys, hanging out in juke joints, to playing, rock festivals in Italy. It was insane.
So now we definitely see I see the world from a long view, and that long view is what World Boogie is Coming is all about, for sure. World Boogie is Coming is a phrase my dad used a lot, and it was his sign-off, and it's always resonated with me and with a lot of people. We miss him so much, and it's definitely an homage to him.
Our father, Jim Dickinson, was a piano player and a record producer, and we grew up around he and his friends, and they grew up in Memphis, Tennessee, so he and his friends were playing the Memphis Country Blues Festivals, and all the cats like Fred McDowell and Furry Lewis and Sleepy John Estes and Bucka White, they were all playing the same festivals, and there was a Bucka White song, World Boogie, and he and his friends came up with that saying, World Boogie is coming. For some reason, I just felt like for North Mississippi Hill Country Blues, a tradition that we grew up around, I just felt like in this right now, it was just make it or break it. I felt like we needed to gather the troops back home and make a solidify a statement, like a proclamation, just like a declaration of it's a party record, like World Boogie is coming. And it's cool, man, because parts of this record remind me of P-Funk kind of. It's there's elements, especially with Duane and Sade, of we've never really hit that before. And we weren't trying to, but it's cool because you can't fake that funk.
Hey, regrettably, that's all the time we have for this week's show. But if you'd like any information on anything you've seen tonight, visit our webpage, mpbonline.org/Mississippi Roads, or stop by our Facebook page. Till next time, I'm Walt Grayson. I'll be seeing you on Mississippi Roads.
Down Mississippi Road. Mississippi Roads.
Mississippi Roads is made possible in part by the generous support of viewers like you. Thank you.